his friends had set up there at like 4 a.m., so they'd been there all day. We're coming through the intersection at four way, 30A, and road that goes down to Grayton. And I see, yeah, I see one of my son's friends that says, "Hey, your son JJ and his friends are down there, and they're having a little dispute with an adult that seems to be intoxicated." I was like, "What's going on?" They're like, "Something about not being able to move a car." So I was like, "All right, let me just pop in there, see what's going on." And as soon as I made that turn, Officer Harris is there. Tried to explain the situation. I'm a long time Walton County resident since 2008. I know not to drive on the beach. But, anyways, I just wanted to say that was the basis for it. I've never had a citation. I just was thinking about why don't I just pop in, check on them. I sure as heck don't want my son to get into and his friends to get into a fight.
My name is Hayward Dykes. I'm the special magistrate. If you have a cell phone, please either turn it off or put it on vibrate. And if you will please stand, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And thank you. Grab your seats. I've already signed the minutes. Are there any announcements regarding the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. At this time, I'll go ahead and swear in anyone who plans to present evidence or testify in any of the matters today. If you'll please stand and raise your right hand. Do you all swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? All right, thank you. Our first case is CE 25-01572, Grand Dunes condominium owners. This was a continued case from last month. All right, whatever. Davis?
Brooke Davis on behalf of the county, Your Honor. At this point, a resolution has been reached on this case in agreement with the Representative Robert Kaufman from Dunlap and Shipman for Grand Dunes Condominium Association. So at this point, what's going to happen is in an agreement for an admission for the post-permit changes, we'll dismiss the other of the violation. In exchange, we will provide, Your Honor, by next Friday, I think that should be September 19th, an actual order with the stipulations of the agreement. I have a copy of those stipulations that I can present to you at this point.
I mean, unless you want to put them into the record, I'll just wait for the final.
I'd like to. I think we've both agreed at this. These are the stipulations that we're presenting to you.
Okay.
So I'd like to make sure that they're in the record so that way everybody's clear.
All right. And Mr. Kaufman, I'm assuming you've reviewed this. You're in agreement with these?
Magistrate, we're in agreement with all of that, and
Okay.
Working with Ms. Davis to provide a draft final judgment by next Friday.
So what I'll do is we'll continue this for 1 month, assuming that the stipulation comes in, then it can be removed from the agenda. Would that be appropriate?
I think at this point, it's been stipulated. The condo association has had a meeting and has accepted the stipulations and agreed to admit the violation for the post permit change. And in exchange, the county is dismissing the other violation that's alleged today. It's just as far as a written final order, we want to provide that.
Right, and I guess my thought was we'll just continue it till next month, assuming you get the written order and everything's signed and done, then it'll just be taken off because it'll be dismissed, correct?
That's fine.
Okay, so we'll just continue this for till October. What date would that be? October? Yeah, just our next hearing date for these, October. Pull it up. I have October 8th being the second Wednesday. So we'll continue this to the October 8th. Obviously, as Ms. Davis and Mr. Kaufman presented, if the written stipulation and dismissals in place, then we'll just take it off the docket. All right?
All right,
Thank you.
Magistrate.
And I did accept into the record the stipulations. I'll mark that as County's Exhibit A. All right. The next case is CE 25-01273. Property owner is listed as Kimberly. I'm going to mess this up. Avizis, Avizuis. The property is located at 44 Tropical Way in Freeport, Florida.
Told me she wasn't gonna be able to make it today.
All right. Do you, let me find this file. You've been sworn in, and whenever you're ready,
Yes, sir.
go ahead.
I'm Officer Jennifer King with Walton County Code Compliance. For the record, I'm submitting my final summary, case report, and testimony in regards to case 25-01273. The property is located at 44 Tropical Way, Freeport, Florida, 32439. Parcel numbers 33-1S-19-23032-000-0120. This property is the unincorporated area of Walton County and subject to the Land Development Code, Chapter 7, in the county ordinance. Violations cited are 1.13.06 post-permit changes and 1.13.09C building permits. An initial inspection was conducted on March 13th, 2025, in response to a complaint regarding potential stormwater violations. Although no stormwater violations were observed at that time, it was later determined that a back porch had been constructed without the required permits and encroached into the side setback. A notice of violation was hand-delivered to the property owner on March 20th, 2025, and options for bringing the property into compliance were discussed. The property owner subsequently submitted an application to the Planning Department in April 2025. On May 23rd, 2025, the property owner was advised that a property survey would be required to proceed with the application. During follow-up communications, the property owner indicated she was on a limited income and needed time to save for the survey. She also mentioned attempting to find friends to assist with removing the portion of the porch located within the setback area before proceeding with the survey. The property was not brought into compliance within the allotted time, and a notice of hearing was hand-delivered to the property owner on July 25th, 2025. And as of the most recent inspection on September 9th, 2025, the porch remains unpermitted and has not been removed. I ask that you find the property in violation of Chapter 1.1306 post-permit changes and Chapter 1.1309C building permits. Photos in your packet show the initial inspection and pre-hearing conditions with violations still existing. And I would like to submit my packet into evidence.
All right, I'll accept that. Your packet into evidence is County's Exhibit A. So is it your understanding she's gonna get a permit and try to keep it, or is she gonna remove it?
Yes, she did have to remove some of it, so it would not be in the side setback. She had some delays in trying to get that portion removed. It'd be better for her to remove that portion before getting the survey, or she would have to basically do 2 surveys. And she has to have the survey before she can get her planning approval and then get the building permit.
And what's staff's recommendation?
60 days to achieve compliance, or $100 per day fine to accrue with a $51 admin fee.
All right. And you stated earlier you spoke to her that she wasn't gonna be
Yes, she said she had a doctor's appointment today.
and do you feel comfortable that the 60 days would give her sufficient time? I mean, has she already engaged a surveyor to your knowledge, or do you?
She told me she had found a survey company willing to work with her. And she has had part of the structure removed. It was the person that was removing it had some car issues this week, but they're supposed to come back this weekend.
All right. Thank you. I'll close the evidence portion of this hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. Find that the property located at 44 Tropical Way in Freeport, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the testimony and evidence presented, I do find sufficient evidence to support the allegations that there is a violation of 1.13.06 post-permit changes and 1.13.09C building permit requirements. I will provide, I'm going to give the property owner a little additional time, understanding how long it takes to get surveys and then also to get things through planning sometime. So I'm going to provide 75 days instead of the 60 requested, give her a little extra time. November 24th, so the property need to be brought into compliance on or before November 24th. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before November 24th, a $100 per day fine will be imposed. Were there any administrative fees? 51? All right. In addition to the fine imposed if the property is not brought into compliance, there is a $51 administrative fee that'll need to be paid regardless of whether or not the property is brought into compliance, and that administrative fee will need to be paid within 30 days. The next case is Jorge or George Pava, P-A-V-A. Mr. Pava. Good morning. I think it's still morning. You can grab a seat right there. Let me get this. Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. All right. All right, Mr. Pava, what we'll do is we'll allow the county to present. You can ask any questions of Officer Hicks after she's done presenting, and then I'll allow you to present any evidence or testimony you wish for me to consider. All right? Officer Hicks, whenever you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Code Compliance Officer Georgina Hicks. For the record, I'm submitting my final order and final summary and report and presentation and testimony in reference to case 2501586. The property is in an unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to the Land Development Code Chapter 7. The property is located at 335 Central 7th Street in Santa Rosa Beach. The property owner is Jorge Pava, and the violations cited are 1.1309C for building permits, 2.02.00P RVs and campers, 7.02.01A for junk and litter. On 7/10/2025, I conducted an initial inspection and observed unpermitted structures, including a blue Connex where an RV with an addition was built onto it. There's one unregistered vehicle in front of the property, and then in the rear of the property there was a partially built privacy fence that I was able to observe junk and litter in the backside of the property. I spoke to Mr. Pava that day and explained to him about the violations that I would be citing and that what corrective action needed to be taken in order for him to be in compliance. Mr. Pava was under the impression that he could shield the junk and litter with the privacy fence, and I explained that because of the zoning of where his property is located, that he was unable to shield the junk and litter to obtain compliance. On 7/15/2025, I posted a notice of violation on the property with a compliance due date of 8/13/2025. On 8/14/2025, I re-inspected the property and I observed no changes had been made to the property, and research in the computer system showed that no permits had been applied for with the building department. On 8/14/2025, a notice of hearing was posted on the property and also mailed via certified mail. On 8/15/2025, a notice of hearing was posted at the South Walton Courthouse Annex. And on yesterday, 9/9/2025, I conducted a reinspection of the property, and it appeared that Mr. Pava was in the beginning stages of constructing a privacy fence across the front of the property. Research in the computer also again showed that no permits had been applied for with the building department. This property has been previously adjudicated back in 2024. It does have some outstanding code compliance lien and is currently accruing daily fines for not having a development order for the structures that were on the property. The violations that are being brought in front of you today are different from the violations that were on the previous final order, and I've included that in your packet today so that you can review those.
Yeah, I do have a copy of the previous order that was signed by myself back in December 2024. So that one was specifically dealing with the failure to obtain a development order.
That's correct, for the structures that were there.
So I see in here you have a claim for 1.13.09C building permits as well. Are these for additional structures?
They're not.
Okay.
They probably could have been cited originally when the case was brought to you back in December of 2024, but because we received a new complaint and I was addressing the other violations on the property that probably could have been addressed back then. It's the same status the property is.
Okay. I guess what my question is, was the previous order, was that for 1.13.09C? Was that for the building permit or development order?
I get what you're saying.
I guess my question is if he's previously been cited for failure to obtain a building permit or development order, then unless there's a new structure that we can point to that was built from that time in 2024, I would be reluctant to find him in violation again for that same code section.
Yeah, I believe that, I don't. 11300 for development approvals,
Okay.
and
So,
then this one is 11309C for building permits.
all right.
'Cause- And well, I mean, for him to have a development approval and then he could go get a building permit. And so the development approval and, getting a BPR issued with the planning department would be his first step in what he was cited for in December of 2024.
Yeah,
Does that answer
well,
your question?
Yeah, like I said, I just don't want to essentially rehear a matter that's already been resolved. If it's a different ordinance number, and different violation,
Yes, sir. It is.
I just wanted to be clear that was the case. All right, and your testimony and representation, it is, so I'll take that at face value at this time. All right, go ahead.
Anyway, I told you when he was cited and the notices were posted, and so to ensure that proper notice was given, prescribed by code, and I would like to submit my packet into evidence.
I'll accept your packet into evidence as county's composite exhibit A.
And I'll reserve my recommendation until after I think Mr. Pava has a statement he'd like to.
All right. Mr. Pava, do you have any questions for Officer Hicks at this time? All right. If you want to come on, step up to the podium, and I'll, at this time, consider any evidence or testimony you want me to consider.
Yes, I have some evidence here because I do have a permit, sir.
Okay.
And because the city approved me those permit to build there, that's what I have, electrical, water, and everything else.
All
And
right. Have you
that's why
shown that to Ms. Hicks or anybody with the county?
I did not, but I do have them. And one time, because goes back, and I left a copy of the permit in the office of the code compliance office. In that case was Mr. Wilson or something, Nick, I'm sorry,
Do you have
other code inspector.
Do you have a copy of the permit with you today?
Unfortunately, right now I don't have it, but I can get a copy of it. That'll be no problem. What I have here is, because what it is, I've been working already with architect and structural engineers for the development and the things. They haven't finished though. That's the thing, it takes time, but I can show you the evidence that I have here, I can give you this copy. And because
What is that, sir?
this is the structural engineers plans.
So those are building plans?
Yes, sir,
Okay.
for the building plans and for both lots. So all I gotta do now, when they finish, what it is, they've been backed up with work and stuff like that. It's been an ordeal to get this finished. Once it's finished, I'll submit it to the city. But I already have a plan already, a permit. And then, like I said, that's why I have the water and electrical. And I'm trying to comply, like I was telling the officer. What I have there is not junk, I'm an AC contractor, I got some stuff that are recycled, that soon will be over with, and soon I'll have the final permits and everything. But I'm just trying to have some time so I can finish and submit the approved permits and stuff like that.
So your testimony is you do have
A permit, yes, sir.
permit,
Yes,
so,
already in place, and I left a copy in the code compliance office.
and then what about so that's.
Mr. Chuck, what's his name? Chuck, the other inspector?
Chuck Cronin.
Crown, left a copy for him too.
So, address the other, so that appears as though you're addressing 1.13.09, the building permit requirement. Tell me about what do you have or testimony that you want me to consider related to the, use of a recreational vehicle or campers on property?
Those are not, I was allowed to live in the thing until the construction is finished. And also the recreational vehicle is another trailer that's gonna be part of the construction. That was submitted in the permit that I have. It was approved by the city.
Okay.
So I have to just remodel and that's it.
Right, my
Then
understanding.
now I have what it is, eventually, that's gonna be even done away with because I have new set of prints here for the construction coming up.
Okay. So is anybody living in the RVs currently?
Yes, I do live there, sir. Yes, sir.
And is there any active construction going on site?
Not yet until I get the permits approved. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I got approved for the remodel I got it's like a small mobile home along with a blue, seems like a recreational vehicle, but it's not. It's gonna be part of the remodel, and that was approved by the city. I can get you the permit and everything for that. So I can, in those things, I can work already. But I have working on the plans for the whole
Understood.
project, yes,
So
sir.
it sounds to me like you do not have a permit, but you claim that you do.
No, yes, sir, I do, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't
Well,
want to
then-
interrupt you, but I do.
All right, and I'm just restating what
Oh,
you
yeah,
said.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So you state that you have a permit, yet you haven't submitted those plans that you have in front of you to get a permit to build, correct? Yes or no?
No,
Okay. So you have not submitted those plans to the county, and you have not been issued a building permit to begin construction.
I do have the permit
What permit do you have?
for the remodel
Okay.
of the two things that I have there. And then I'm adding to it. And this is the ones I'm waiting on the engineers to finish, the structural engineers, because I need to have the section for the,
And then what about the last claim for 7.02.00A, junk and litter? I believe your testimony is that's not junk or litter, that's part of
that
your
is
business.
correct. It's not, sir. I have, what is called active material, which is gonna be used for the footers and everything that I'm gonna have there. And also, since I do air conditioning sometimes, when I bring it back to the recycle place, I gotta take them apart because I gotta reclaim the freon according to the EPA. And then I return them. And then usually I do that when my season slows down. I don't have much work. And then I use that to complement my income.
All right, anything else, Mr. Pava, that you want me to
No,
consider?
just would like to ask, extended time I can finish my permit with the new permits and finish the other project that I have
All right.
going on.
All right, Officer Hicks, do you have any questions for Mr. Pava?
No, sir, I don't have any questions.
All right, anything additional from the county?
I would just like to request that the property owner, that you order that the property owner be given 60 days to remove the junk and litter or place it in some approved permit shed of whatnot. It can't be out in the open. And obtain the appropriate permits or pay $250 per day until compliance is achieved. I'd also ask that you order that a $73 administration fee be ordered in addition to the daily.
All right. Tell me as well as Mr. Pavo what you consider the junk and debris based on the photographs that were presented or introduced into evidence. You also have the vehicles that do not appear to be tagged, so those would need to be either properly stored or registered, correct?
Correct.
You understand that, Mr. Pava, that you would need to either properly store the vehicle that looks like a SUV that might be maybe a Volvo
Oh,
SUV
yes, sir, XC90.
that doesn't have a tag. You need to get that registered, or you need to put it in, store it in some fashion.
Yeah, it gotta be basically parked in the front facing to the thing, but it's already clean and working on it. What it is, the timing belt went off.
That's fine. I'm just telling you
Yeah.
that's part of
But
the
since I
code.
didn't have, that's what I canceled the tag because while I don't wanna pay the insurance while I'm working on it because then.
Understood. Well, besides the vehicle, Officer Hicks, what else are we looking at for junk
Well,
and
the
debris?
front is, and he is correct, it is fairly tidied up. However, from the back side, there's, piled up parts, of, from washing machines and dryers and ladders and pieces of different equipment. I mean, I can't really
Yeah, that recently was.
specify exactly what the pieces are. It's
So-
just kind of piled up.
So for
back
those
there.
things that you just mentioned and are in the photographs, Mr. Pava would either need to erect a privacy fence so that's screened or not shown from the road, or need to be put in enclosed storage.
Because of the zoning, this particular property would fall under the Chapter 7, which doesn't allow it to be shielded by a privacy fence or a vegetative buffer.
Okay.
Now, if he was to obtain a development order and then get a building permit, if you have a permitted primary structure, then you can have a shed that, would require a permit as well. Or, you've got structures out there that you could permit as an accessory structure that he could store his
Yeah, then I
items in.
don't want to interrupt you, but that's what actually these prints are for, to provide that. But, I just want a little time so I can dispose them rightly, because I don't want to keep that stuff. It's just a way of.
And I do believe that he did have a prior permit it was for a modular home or a mobile
Yes,
home or
that's
something to
the
that
one,
nature.
yes.
That permit is now expired, and I don't believe it was
But-
ever finished as far as any
No.
additional building permits that would follow up with that permit from the planning department. He ultimately has more structures out there that he is going to basically start from ground zero and provide the planning department with what he has out there, and then they can advise him on what they can permit and go from there. And then go to the building department and obtain building permits.
Thank you, Officer Hicks. Mr. Pava, I'll give you the last word. You heard what the county's requesting, 60 days to bring the property into compliance. Should I find there to be any violations, a $250 fine and $73 as an administrative fee. Do you have any comments on that as far as the timeline goes? Fine.
Yeah, I would like to request a little more time, sir.
How much more time do you think you need?
You give me 120 days so I can finish up, 90 days?
The most I can give you would be 90.
Okay, and then I can finish the prints and get the permits that are required, because in order to get the permits from the city, I need to have the site plans and everything.
Right,
done.
and you understand, as Ms. Hicks said, you already have a violation on the property previously, that you need to get these permits and things
And this is what they
taken
hold
care
up.
of.
Yes, sir, yeah.
Otherwise, if you don't do it timely,
I
You
know.
got the previous order where you're being fined, and then you
Yeah, I understand.
potentially will have
Yeah,
this.
that's what I'm
order.
trying to
Okay.
get all this straight out. Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very
All right.
much.
So, I'll go ahead and close the evidence portion of the hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located at 335 Central 7th Street, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. I'll find based on the testimony and evidence presented that there is sufficient evidence to support a violation as being on the property, specifically a violation of 1.13.09C, building permits, 2.0200P, RVs and campers, and 7.02.01A, junk and litter. Based on Mr. Pava's request, I will provide him up the 90 days requested to give him the opportunity to try to bring the property into compliance. What would be 90 days? All right, so Mr. Pava, you need to bring the property into compliance on or before December 9th, 2025. In the event you do not bring the property into compliance, a $250 per day fine will be imposed. In addition to the fine, I will impose a $73 administrative fee. That'll need to be paid regardless of whether or not you bring the property into compliance, and that'll need to be paid within 30 days. The other thing I'll let you know, Mr. Pava, is, continue to work diligently on this. In the event you go past the 90 days that I've provided, you can seek a fine reduction if you can show, especially that you've been working diligently to bring the property into compliance. Some of these things you may be able to bring into compliance prior to getting your permits, but I wish you luck, sir, and you'll get a copy of the order. The $73 administrative fee, you can't pay that today, but that'll be paid at the clerk's office. I would probably wait till next week if you want to go ahead and address that. All right? Do you have any questions, sir? All right. Thank you, sir, for showing up. All right. The next case is CE 2501471. Property owner is listed as Junius and Monisha Brown III. So is Mr. or Miss Brown? Okay, are you Mr. Brown? All right, Mr. Brown. The address is 56 Ballamore Cove in Miramar Beach, Florida. And the allegations are post-development order and post-permit changes. All right, Officer Nina? Okay. All right, so Officer Nina, if you weren't sworn in, and you'll raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, thank you. And Mr. Brown, just like we did the last one, I'll let Officer Neenan present. You can ask questions of her, and then I'll allow you to present. All right? Officer Neenan, whenever you're ready.
My name is Officer Rachel Neenan, Walton County Code Compliance. For the record, I am submitting my final summary case report and testimony in regards to case number 25-01471. The property is located at 56 Ballamore Cove, Miramar Beach, Florida, 32550. Parcel number 30-2south-21-42700-000-000-0060. Property owners Junius and Monisha Brown III. This property is in an unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to the Land Development Code, Chapter 7, and the county ordinances. The violation cited is 1.03.06 post-permit changes. On May 21st of 2025, the complaint came into our office and stated that the property owner built a replacement driveway and paved the entire front yard, causing water to run into the cul-de-sac. On June 3rd of 2025, I conducted an initial inspection and found that the driveway has been changed. According to the property appraiser's aerial photos, the driveway was a horseshoe shape, and now it has been completely pavered. On June 6th of 2025, a notice of violation was given as prescribed by code. On June 12th of 2025, I was able to locate a phone number and left voicemails for both numbers for the property owners. On July 9th of 2025, during research, I found that this property is a rental property and is managed by Modern Beach Vacation Rentals. I left a voicemail for them. On 7/10 of 2025, I received an email from the property management company stating that he will have another member of the accounting team reach out to me. Her name was Megan, contacted me, and I explained the violation. She emailed me and included Josh Weddington and Sarah Reese, who deal with the property owner, stating the issue and to reach out to the planning department. On July 21st of 2025, I received an email from Mr. Brown requesting a phone call. I returned that phone call on 7/22 of 2025 and left a voicemail. On that same day, I spoke with Mr. Brown about the case. I explained to him that I was unsure that the driveway could be permitted, but to contact the planning department and to speak to the planner of the day to see if it was possible. He requested a copy of the detailed case report that was emailed to him. On 8/14 of 2025, a notice of hearing was given as prescribed by code. Photos in your packet show the initial inspection and pre-hearing conditions with violations still existing. There has been no changes to the property and no permits applied for. I would like to submit my packet into evidence.
I'll accept the packet and the evidence as county's composite exhibit A. So is the overhead photo from the property appraiser's website what you're relying on to show that this
Yes,
used to be a
sir.
horseshoe? It's just very hard to see.
It is. It's kind of shadowed, but you can tell that there is a palm tree in the center and a grassy area there. So they had a small portion that went all the way around in a horseshoe shape.
And to modify that into what we have today, which appears to be just a pavered driveway,
Yes, sir.
would require a permit.
Yes, sir.
Do we know if they're eligible for a permit?
I do not. I don't know if he, I haven't had any contact back with him since that phone call in July. I don't know if he's reached out to the planning department to find out if he can get it permitted or if it needs to return back to its original permitted status.
All right. And so the original call out was due to stormwater runoff?
Correct, yes, sir. I guess now that has been enclosed, the water is now coming off of the house, down his driveway, and is puddling in that cul-de-sac.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Brown, do you have any questions for Officer Neenan?
Did you see any water? Because I don't know, because
Understood. And Mr. Brown, if you don't mind, will you come up to the podium? That's fine. And I'll represent, we're not here on a violation for, stormwater runoff. It's just post-permit changes.
Okay,
so
great.
I mean, if you can answer the question, you can answer the question, Officer Neenan.
I have not. I
Yeah.
have not seen any water pooling. That was just what was conveyed to me in the complaint.
No,
Any other
no
questions?
additional questions.
All right, Officer Neenan, you can grab a seat. Mr. Brown?
Yes.
I'll take into account any testimony or evidence you want me to consider.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we did make improvements to the driveway. We understood at the time that we did not require, a permit was not required. And we also have other driveways in our neighborhood that are similar to ours. Our preference is to keep the driveway the way that it is. So we will apply for a permit. I thought that I could manage this myself, but it's obvious that I'm ill-equipped. So we have reached out to our contractor to handle this for us. So they're going to apply for the permit. In the event that the permit isn't issued, we will restore the driveway to its original design. And we do request additional sufficient time to have our contractor apply for the permit and take whatever corrective action is required in the event the permit is not
And have
issued.
you already engaged the contractor? Are they in the process, or is that?
Yeah,
just
so we
started?
have engaged the contractor just recently, and they are going to reach out to the planning department regarding the permit application.
All right, understood. Real quick, Officer Neenan, what's the county requesting in this matter?
Recommendations would be 30 days to achieve compliance or a $250 per day fine to accrue with a $73 admin fee.
Seems like a short fuse to get that done.
I agree.
Mr. Brown, you've heard the county's recommendation, 30 days. I'm assuming, based on your comment, you would like more time. How much time do you think would be sufficient?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to request 90. We won't, obviously we'll get it done as quickly as we can, so we can put this to bed and move on.
I don't think that's,
Just to clarify, I hadn't spoken to him since July. That's why I requested the 30 days.
She's correct.
yeah, I don't know that asking for 90 days to get some things through Walton County planning is too big a ask.
Agreed.
All right. Anything additional, Officer Neenan? Anything additional, Mr. Brown?
No, just want to make sure that we've got, sufficient time to apply for the permits, hear back from the county, and then in the event that there is corrective action needed, we've got time to do that.
Okay. I think that's all reasonable requests. All right. Unless there's anything else, I'll go ahead and close the evidence portion of this hearing. You both can grab a seat. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located at 56 Ballamore Cove in Miramar Beach, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code, Chapter 7. I'll find that there is sufficient evidence to find that there is a violation of the Land Development Code, specifically 1.13.06 post-permit changes. I do believe that the request for 90 days is well received and will provide that the property will need to be brought into compliance on or before December 9th. Okay. If the property is not brought into compliance on or before December 9th, I know the county requested a $250 fine based on what's been presented. I will not impose $250, but I will impose a $150 fine if the property is not brought into compliance. That'll be a per day fine for every day the property is not in compliance. If you bring the property into compliance before that date, so there will be no fines issued against the property. Separate from the fine, there is an administrative fee of $73 that'll need to be paid regardless of whether the property is brought into compliance, and you'll have 30 days to pay that. And as I advised the last property owner, in the event that you go past the 90 days that I've provided, but do bring the property into compliance soon after, you can always ask for a fine reduction that we will consider based on the actions you've taken and work diligently performed. Do you have any questions, Mr. Brown, regarding the order? All right. Officer Neenan, did I miss anything? All right. Thank you both. You're dismissed. Thank you. Our next case is CE 251428, and the property owner is listed as, looks like I got two, Schmitz Meyer LLC, and then I believe it's Frederick Meyer, Meyer. The address is 660 Tropical Way in Freeport. Is there anybody here for that owner or that property? All right, I don't see anybody standing. Let me find this. All right, I believe I have it. Officer Bennett, whenever you're ready.
For the record, I'm Code Compliance Officer Darnell Bennett. I'm submitting my final summary report, presentation, and testimony in reference to case number CE-25-01428. The property is 660 Tropical Way, Freeport, Florida, 32439. Parcel ID is 33-1 South-19-230. 33-00B-0390. This property is in an unincorporated area of Walton County and therefore subject to Land Development Code Chapter 7 and county ordinances. The property owner listed is Schmitzmeyer LLC. The violation cited is 5.07.09C, inoperable vehicles and junk and debris. Initial complaint was a phone call, was junk and debris, inoperable trailer being used as a barber shop, broken glass all around the garbage receptacle. So an initial inspection was conducted on May 13th, 2025, where I observed the storing of chairs outside, washer and dryer on the side of the home, and other miscellaneous debris. A follow-up inspection was conducted on May 16th, 2025, at which time a notice of violation was posted to the property and certified mailed that same day. More inspections were conducted on May 28th, June 3rd, June 22nd, July 8th, and July 22nd, with no changes or corrections to the violation that is present on the property. Additionally, there has been no direct contact with the property owners or who I believe to be tenants. So on August 19th, 2025, a notice of hearing was posted to the property and the courthouse, and then certified mailed on August 20th. As of today, all violations remain unresolved. The property owner has failed to bring the property into compliance within the allotted time. Proper notice was given as prescribed by code as of my most recent inspection, September 9th, 2025. The property remains in non-compliance. I ask that the magistrate find this property to be in violation.
I didn't see anybody come in, but I'll ask in case I missed something. Is anybody here for the, on behalf of the Schmitzmeyer LLC? All right. Officer Bennett, what's the county requesting in this case?
30 days to bring the property into compliance, or $100 per day fine, as well as a admin fee of $73.
All right. And you want to introduce your packet into evidence?
Yes, please. I'm sorry.
We'll accept that into evidence as county's composite exhibit A. All right, and I'll close the evidence portion of this hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located at 660 Tropical Way, Freeport, Florida, is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the testimony and evidence presented, I do find that there is sufficient evidence to support a claim of a violation on the property, specifically a violation of 5.0709C, junk, litter, and debris. Based on the request of the county, I'll find that the property must be brought into compliance within 30 days. That'll be on or before October 9th. Should the property not be brought into compliance on or before October 9th, a $100 per day fine will be imposed. In addition to the fine, and separate and apart, there's a $73 administrative fee that I will impose. That administrative fee will be required to be paid within 30 days. Counselor Bennett, did you give me a proposed order?
Yeah, I set it in a different pile, I think. Should be up there. If not, I have another one right here.
Trying to find it. Oh, I got it, right here.
Okay.
All right, that'll conclude that case. Our next case is 25-01543. Property owner is listed as Leanne Linton, Linton. The address is 535 Watson Road in Definiak Springs, Florida. All right. We do have the property owner here.
Yes,
Miss Linton?
Miss Linton there.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
Ms. Linton. As you've seen, we'll go ahead and allow the county to present, and then I'll allow you to ask any questions and present anything you wish to, okay? All right, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
All right. I'm Code Compliance Officer Greg Forehand. For the record, I'm submitting my final summary report, presentation, and testimony in reference to case number 25-01543. This property is incorporated in the area of Walton County. It's in the unincorporated area of Walton County and subject to Land Development Code per Florida Statute Chapter 162. Its location is at parcel 18-3 November-20-28100 001-0090, also known as 535 Watson Road in Defuniak Springs, belonging to Miss Leanne Linton. The violations cited were for 50709C Charlie, storage of non-operating or non-registered vehicles, junk debris, 507.11 for mobile home standards, and 2.02.00P for RVs and campers. The complaint was received on 6/18/2025 in reference to the prior mentioned violations, with an initial inspection being completed on 6/22/25, verifying the conditions shown in Exhibit 1. On 6/23/25, a notice of violation was prepared and placed in certified mailing, along with being posted by Code Compliance Officer Baza under my request. I received phone contact from Ms. Linton the next day with us discussing the current violations involving the debris building back up and the appearance of RV living and the mobile home needing some portions of skirting reinstalled. She did, in having prior cases, she was familiar with our dumpster program, but a decision was made with my staff due to the cases being so close together from the complaint before being closed on 3/4/24. A determination was made not to provide a dumpster again with that short distance between the complaints. Then further inspections continued, and up to 8/18/25, progress was being made with the cleanup, repairs, and removal of the RVs. And we decided to go ahead and move forward with the proceedings for the magistrate hearing. And 8/19/2025, a notice of hearing was placed in certified mail and posting made to the property on 8/20, along with later being posted at the courthouse annex for public view at 8/27/25. The day I posted it, I did have a brief interaction with a male subject there, asking to have Ms. Linton contact me, which she did after hours through a text message. And then the next day, I got back in contact with her, with us discussing why the case was moving forward to magistrate, and the fact that we'd had other complaints there within, just a little over a year that when the prior case was closed. So, and I did put that interaction in my files from a text message. And then yesterday on 9/9/25, I did a pre-hearing inspection and had interaction with Ms. Linton there at the property, discussing the remaining corrections needed and kind of what to expect here at the hearing today. And then I would like to submit my file and packet as evidence.
I'll accept that as county's exhibit, composite exhibit A. It looks like, so when you did the pre-hearing inspection, the RV's been removed?
Yes, sir. Yeah, there was one partially dismantled RV there and one to the north side that was set up with the way with the slide outs out and steps and all. She did inform me that it was there for repair by a friend and no one was staying in it, but they did get it removed within, before the 8/19, it was gone within a matter. They did get that corrected.
So does that resolve our violation?
Yeah, but we
2.02.00P, RVs and campers?
Yeah, and we would like it to be recorded as having been a violation because in the past we've had a prior complaint that there was confirmed RV living there. So this is just to get it on record for future, if we get future complaints, it can come straight to magistrate.
Okay. But as we sit here today, there are no RVs or
correct.
Campers
Yeah, that has been
on the
rectified.
property?
Yes, sir.
And then the remaining junk and debris, I see the vehicle in the photographs. What other corrective measures will need to be taken on that front?
Well, she has she knows the individual that the vehicle belongs to, and she apologized to me yesterday because she thought he had been back to retrieve it, and she said that they didn't have the key to it, and he did, and it should be able to be moved within a fairly short period once they can get in contact with him and it to be taken away. And there's some other minor debris about the rear edges of the property that can be seen from public view, and she's been made aware of it and how to dispose of it or what needs to be done.
All right, so the vehicle and then the kind of miscellaneous debris that you
Yeah.
made reference to,
Yeah,
that would resolve
Yeah,
the issue
it appears
on
it's
that?
already grouped up like in piles for it to be, but she doesn't have a vehicle and she's got to depend on other people to either help her haul it off or get it taken away. So it's been a bit of a process. She's made a lot of leeway this go around with it. So
And then what about the mobile home standards? Has that been rectified or what's outstanding
there's
there?
currently a couple issues. She's has patched some of the skirting some, and there's some of the siding that's needing some repair. You can see, and she's needing to get those supplies together for that. And she does have other supplies that may require a future permit, but which she hadn't started on in the projects. I just advised her before she moved forward with anything like windows and doors and things to be sure and get the proper permit to move forward for those items.
So if she corrected the siding that I see in Exhibit 5 photographs
Yeah.
of your packet, would that resolve the
Yeah,
RV
that pretty
the
much
mobile home
she,
standard?
They was able to get some other materials to enclose the skirting area, and that siding just being repaired there, just for the the street view of it. It's and plus the installation of the side of the building, to keep it from rotting or be open to the elements.
Understood. All right. Ms. Linton, do you have any questions for Officer Forehand? Ma'am, if you want to come on up.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. She's been a little nervous. I told her it's not that bad.
Not except for the extension to be able to get the rest of it finished.
Yeah, we're going to get into that, but I didn't know if you had any specific questions for Officer Forehand.
That's quite a bit yesterday. If you have anything.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about the amount of stuff that I was able to get done, and 60 days I should be able to get everything completed within it, maybe 90 just in case.
No, it looks like, and from what Officer
Oh.
Forehand said, you've made a lot of headway, so that's very encouraging. So let me ask Officer Forehand, what's the county requesting in this case?
Well, I originally was going to go with 60 with a discussion with it yesterday and hearing her intentions. And her drives have been, like I said, more than sufficient this go around. And I can go, it would have to be 89 days due to my scheduling if we're going to go that far because of my to be here to do the follow-up on the 90, if it's not done before that.
So you wouldn't be opposed to 89
89 days, which would be December the 8th.
All right. And then what's the county requesting regarding?
100 a day thereafter.
All right. And are there any admin fees?
It is $73.
So, Ms. Linton, what the county's asking, looks like they were gonna ask for 60 days to bring the property in compliance, but based on, I guess, the progress that you've made and as well as your testimony today, they would be amenable to 89 days. That means you have till December 8th. Do you think that would be sufficient time for you to bring the property into compliance?
Should be.
Okay. You have a pretty clear understanding of what you need to do, correct? All right. All right. Well, unless there's anything else from the county? All right. Anything else from you, Ms. Linton? Okay. Y'all can both grab a seat. I'll close the evidence portion of the hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that property located at 535 Watson Road in Defeniak Springs, Florida, is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. I'll find that based on the testimony and evidence presented, there has been sufficient evidence to provide that a code violation has occurred at the property, specifically 5.07.09C, junk debris, non-registered or non-running vehicles, 5.07.11, mobile home standards. Based on the testimony and evidence, I will make a finding that there was previously a violation of 2.00.09P, RVs and campers, but as of the hearing date, that matter has been resolved. So while there is no current violation, based on the county's request, because there was previously existing violation, a future offense can be brought as a repeat violation. So what that means, Ms. Linton, is while you're not being found in violation of the RVs and campers today, I do note that there was a previous violation, putting that on the record. And in the event that you have another RV show up or camper show up, then they can bring that directly to the magistrate for hearing. A lot of the other notices will be, they won't have to go through it. It'll be a fairly quick process. So you're not being found guilty of that today, so to speak, but it is noted for the record. So the only matters that you have outstanding are mobile home standards and then dealing with the non-operating vehicles, junk and debris. Based on the request of the county, we'll provide you 89 days to bring the property in compliance. That'll be on or before December 8th. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before December 8th, a $100 per day fine will be imposed. Separate and apart from the fine, there is a $73 administrative fee. That administrative fee will need to be paid. It's 30 days enough time for you to pay the $73? Okay, well, I'll give you 60 days to pay that. That money will need to be paid to the clerk's office, so you can go to Defeniak, whatever clerk's office is closest to you. But I'll provide you 60 days to pay the $73 for the administrative fee. Yes, ma'am. Are there any questions? Did I miss anything, Officer Forehand? All right, and Ms. Litton, as I told some other property owners, just keep working diligently. Looks like you're almost across the finish line. And should something happen and you not get the property brought into compliance within 89 days and you go over by a little bit, you can always ask for us to consider a fine reduction. All right. With that, that'll close your case and you're excused. All right. Yes, ma'am. Next case is property owner Furman, Fermin Hernandez, and the address is 3742 U.S. Highway 90 West, Defeniak Springs, Florida. All right. Are you Mr. Hernandez? All right, great. Mr. Hernandez, you want to grab a seat there? And we have, Officer Galloway. Let me find. Do I have a copy? Okay, there you go. Okay. Okay, I'll look at that. All right, thank you. All right. Officer Galloway, whenever you're ready to present.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Drew Galloway, Code Compliance Officer with Walton County. For the record, I'm submitting my final presentation on a fine reduction for Mr. Furman Hernandez. So I don't get things messed up. The case was heard in front of Magistrate Bowman on 10/29/2024, and respondent was given, was to have the property in compliance, in other words, on the owner before 12/8/2024. This has been going on for 2 years. Excuse me. There were several additions made to the compliance list of needed actions to be performed before compliance could be granted. That was given to him by the planning department 3 or 4 different times. He would take the first list of items he had to bring the property into compliance, and he would do that, and then they would extend it to another list, and it just kept progressing on and on and on until they finally got to a resolution about the easement into his property, which, in all this time, he's bought 4 additional properties around the original property, and they created an easement through his property to take care of all the other stuff. So in speaking with the senior planner last week or week before last, he had gotten all the requirements by planning done, and actually got the permits for the pole barn that was needed to permit, and a mobile home that he had moved from its original location to another area on the property, had to have it re-permitted and inspected. So he's done everything that he has that he was required to do as far as the planning and the building department are concerned. And in response to monitoring the various interactions the respondent has had to navigate with several county departments, 10% of the total accrued fines is being requested, and I think that comes to a $2,340 fine.
All right. There is also administrative fees of $23 I see listed for a grand total. The county is agreeing to a reduction from $23,400 to $2,363, correct?
Correct.
It's showing that the non-compliance was for 234 days at $100 per day. All right, so Mr. Hernandez, do you want to come on up? Do you have anything you want me to consider related to your fine reduction request?
No.
Are you in agreement with the 10% being the reduced amount of the fine, or do you want to speak to that?
I agree with that.
Okay. How much time would it take you to pay that, assuming that's what we do?
Okay.
Okay. Can he pay today, or would he have to wait? Because we'd probably have to wait till it got put into the system. Yeah. You'd probably have to wait till next week if we do that, but just FYI. Okay. Well, I will commend you on getting the property brought into compliance. I know it's taken some time, but I know that that's one of the things the county strives for, is to try to get compliance. And I'm glad to see that they're willing to reduce the fine pretty significantly. So, based on the evidence presented and the testimony, I will reduce the fine as requested from $23,400 to the 10% of that amount, which would be $2,340. The admin fee of $23 will be imposed, that for a grand total of $2,363. Now, what I will advise Mr. Hernandez, that this fine reduction does have a time limit, so you'll need to have the reduced fine paid within the next 30 days. If you don't pay it within the next 30 days, then it just goes right back up to the $23,400. Okay, do you understand that? Okay, great. So all right, so I've signed the order reducing the fine to $2,340. In addition, there's a $23 administrative fee, all to be paid within the next 30 days, all right? And Mr. Hernandez, as I stated, you can't pay it today. I would probably give it till maybe next Monday or sometime next week, and then it should be in the system, and then they'll know that that's the amount to pay, all right? You have any questions? All right, did I miss anything? Officer Galloway?
No, sir.
All right, thank you. You're dismissed.
Thank you.
All right, our next case is CE 25-01611. We have Jose Avila, Avila. Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Avila? Okay. Mr. Avila, as you've seen, will allow the county to present, and then you can ask questions or present any evidence you want me to consider. All right, Officer Galloway, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Drew Galloway, Code Compliance Officer with Walton County, and for the record, I'm submitting my final summary case report and testimony in reference to case 25-01611. Excuse me. The property is located at 68 North 6th Street in Santa Rosa Beach. Parcel number is 22-2S-230-120-006-0080. The property owner is listed as Avila Jose Manuel. The property is in an unincorporated area of Walton County and subject to the provisions of Chapter 7 of the Land Development Code. The violation cited was 7.0201A, junk and litter. And the original complaint came in on July the 17th, 2025. And the initial inspection was conducted on 7/20/2025. There's been no direct contact from me with the property owner of this violation except for the return receipts from the certified mail notifications. Subsequently, there has been very little activity in line with reaching compliance through the code department. There has been junk and debris removed and then vehicles added to and then removed again, all on a parcel recorded as a vacant lot. As you see, the case was started in July. It went through the rest of July, August, and September up until yesterday. I did a re-inspection. If you look at the go through the inspection dates that are recorded there with photograph, you can see where there was junk removed on 8/18, 2 vehicles added on 8/25, so forth and so on has been going on with the property, and I've got the postings of the notice of hearing, notice of violation, but the next to the last page was what I intended for to be the date of hearing photograph on the 8th of this month. And then yesterday, they called and said they had cleaned it up. And I went out there this morning and took a photograph, and they actually cleaned off the vacant lot, but they pushed everything that was on the vacant lot over behind the house. To the right of that photograph, you'll see the vehicles back there, the inoperable vehicles. And the trailers are, I would suppose, further back in their backyard back there. But instead of correcting the violation, they just transferred it to a different property. So I'll go through the rest of the format here. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was issued on 7/21 simultaneously. They were issued at the same time. With corrective action of removing all junk and debris and inoperable vehicles, relocate the trailers to a primary structured property before compliance due date. Compliance due date on NOV was 8/21/2025, and the subsequent notice of hearing date was set for 9/10/2025, which is today. There's been approximately 10 inspections of the property since the department received the notification of a potential violation reported by a concerned neighbor. Notice for hearing sent certified mail on 7/21/2025 with a property and SWA posting, a South Walton Annex posting at the same date, 7/21/2025, as prescribed by Florida Statute Chapter 162. Proper notice was given, and I request the magistrate enter these findings into the public record.
All right, I'll accept your packet into evidence as County's Exhibit A. I guess my question is the property in compliance as of today?
The property complained on, the vacant lot beside the house, which is owned by the same person, Mr. Avila. He owns the house with the lot with the house on it and the vacant lot next to it.
Right. And so.
And he cleared the vacant lot off, and that was the one that was complained on, but he
And that's
just
the one
transferred.
Right, but that's
violation.
also the one we're here that was noticed for today, correct?
Excuse me?
I said that was the one that was noticed for today?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That vacant lot was the one that was noticed for today.
And so there's no junk or litter?
Not on that vacant lot now.
Okay. All right. Mr. Avila, do you have any questions for,
No, sir,
okay.
we took care of
Officer
everything.
Galloway? Okay. Yeah, so now's your opportunity. Go ahead.
Oh, the lots are cleared, everything's been taken care of, everything's off of there. We did transfer those 2 vehicles over to the house, next door. Those 2 vehicles are not ours, they're for a different owner. And the house that we moved them to, the owner of that house is the owner of those vehicles, so now he should be responsible for those vehicles.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Mr. Avila, that you want me to consider? All right. Mr. Galloway, do you have any questions for Mr. Avila? No. Okay. So what's the county requesting?
County recommends a maximum of 30 days. Failure to reach compliance in these 30 days. And this 30-day period will result in a $250 per day fine to begin to accrue due to the hazardous conditions presently existing on the parcel.
Was there an administrative fee?
And there is back of the final order back there, $73, I believe.
Okay. So explain to me, Mr. Galloway or Officer Galloway, what would they be doing in the next 30 days?
I didn't have a chance to redo the recommendations. That's what I had down there first. Since the property is now in compliance, I don't know, any other fine would be recommended on that?
No, I mean, I would be reluctant. I mean, I don't even know what to tell Mr. Avila to do. I mean, in the
I
next
think
30 days.
What we're actually after today is to register the property as being in compliance, or in non-compliance at one time, but is now reached compliance. Therefore, the next time the property is loaded down with junk and debris and things like that, we can bring them straight from there.
Okay. Well, I'd be amenable maybe to that, but yeah, I don't know that I'm gonna go tell Mr. Avila to go clean up his property even more when it's in compliance.
Safe for reading that.
That's fine.
prematurely.
Okay. Well, Mr. Avila, do you understand what the county's requesting and what I'm inclined to do? Essentially is to say that yes, there were violations on the property, but as we sit here today, you are not going to be found in violation of the code. But in the event that the property does have similar or the same issues where it's junk and debris, then there's a streamlined process where they can bring that back and we can have another one of these hearings. You'll still have the opportunity to come if you're the property owner and present any evidence you wish, but it's a more streamlined, shorter time frame for notices and hearing dates and whatnot. But that's just something that's allowed under the law, and I'm inclined to do that. But I do find, based on the testimony and evidence, that the property does appear to be in compliance. So, all right. Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Y'all both take a seat. I'm going to close the evidence portion of the hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located at 68 North 6th Street in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code, Chapter 7. I'll find that at this time, there is no violation at the property. However, there was sufficient evidence to show there was a violation of 7.02.01A, junk and litter, on the property, but that has been remedied. Accordingly, there is no fine in this matter that will be imposed. However, future offenses of the same nature as cited, so again, it would have to be the same claim of junk and debris, will be considered a repeat offense and subject to fines as such. Mr. Avila, you will have to pay a $73 administrative fee. You'll have 30 days to pay that. And I would give it a couple days, maybe till next week, and then you can pay that at the clerk's office. All right. All right. Thank you, sir, for showing up. That's you're done with your case. Next one is CE 25-01573. Before we start, are we good? Everybody just want to kind of push through? I mean, we've only got like 3 more. So, all right, we'll push through. Property owner is listed as Scott Lalick, L-I-C-K, Lalick, I believe is how you would pronounce that. And the address is 1523 McKinnon Bridge Road in Ponce de Leon. Is Mr. Lalick here? Or someone for Mr. Lalick? Okay, I don't see anyone standing up. All right, let me find this one. All right. Are you Officer Sloan?
Yes, sir.
All right, Officer Sloan, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
My name is Officer Justin Sloan, Walton County Code Compliance. For the record, I'm submitting my final summary case report and testimony regarding case 25-01573. Property located at 1523 McKinnon Bridge Road, Ponce de Leon, Florida, 32455. Parcel number is 33-2N-180-090000003-0000. Property owner is Scott Lalick. The property is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, is subject to the Land Development Code, Chapter 7, and county ordinances. The violations cited are 5.07.09 junk and debris, 5.07.11 mobile home standards, 7.02.02 overgrowth, 7.0203 dilapidated structure. The complaint was property had been abandoned and there's overgrowth on the property. On July 8th, I conducted an initial inspection and found overgrowth, junk, and debris in the yard and what appeared to be an abandoned mobile home that had missing underpinning, broken windows, and the front door open. On July 8th, 2025, a notice of violation was sent via certified mail. On July 9th, 2025, a notice of violation was posted on the property. Follow-up inspections show overgrowth getting worse, the front door open, and junk and debris still present. On August 26, 2025, a notice of hearing was sent via certified mail, posted on the property, and posted at the courthouse. The property was not brought into compliance within the allotted time. Proper notice was given as prescribed by code. As of the last inspection on September 9th, 2025, this property remains in non-compliance. I request the magistrate find the property in violation. Photos in your packet show the initial inspection and pre-hearing conditions with violations still existing. I would like to submit my packet into evidence.
That'll be accepted as county's Exhibit A into evidence. What's the county looking for, as far as time to bring the property in compliance and fine?
30 days to achieve compliance or $100 per day fine, with a $73 admin fee.
Sorry, 30 days, 100 per day?
Yes, sir.
And 73 in admin?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. I didn't see anybody come in for Mr. Lalick. All right, I'll close the evidence portion of this hearing. Make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. Find that the property located at 1523 McKinnon Bridge Road in Ponce de Leon, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. I'll find, based on the testimony and evidence presented, there is sufficient evidence to support that a violation has occurred at the property, specifically a violation of 5.07.09C, junk and debris, 5.07.11 mobile home standards, 7.02.02 overgrowth, and 7.02.03 dilapidated structure. Based on the county's request, I will provide that the property must be brought into compliance within the next 30 days. That'll be October 10th. Should the property not be brought in compliance on or before October 10th, a $100 per day fine will be imposed. In addition to the fine, there is a $73 administrative fee. That'll need to be paid regardless of whether the property is brought into compliance. And they'll have 30 days to pay that. All right, I've signed that order.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. All right. Case number CE 25-01136. Property owners listed as Mitchell and Megan Florence, and this is property 264 Marlberry Trace, Marlberry Trace, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. And are you Mr. Florence? All right, Mr. Florence. Sorry for your wait. You've seen how we do it. We'll allow the county to present, and then I'll hear any testimony or evidence from you. All right? Go ahead whenever you're ready.
All right. Name's Uriel Baza, officer with Walton County Code Compliance. For the record, I am submitting my final summary case report and testimony regarding case number CE 25-01136. This property is located at 264 Marlberry Trace, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida 32459. Parcel number is 19-2S-2033170-000-0170. This property is in the unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to the Land Development Code, Chapter 7, and the county ordinances. The violation cited is 1.13.09C, building permit. The complaint was received on January 30th, 2025, for a structure being built without permits. Complainant is concerned it may be in the setbacks. I conducted my initial inspection at the property on January 31st, 2025, where I observed the shed in the backyard and a new structure recently being built on the side of the home. Upon further research, no permits were found for both structures. A notice of violation was sent mailed certified on February 3rd, 2025, and hand-delivered to the property owner on February 7th, 2025, where the property owner was informed that the building permits would be required for both structures, or the structures would have to be removed if permits could not be obtained through the planning department. On June 5th, 2025, plan approvals for the structures were denied, and structures were requested to be removed due to their location being one was in the wetland buffer and the other in the side setbacks. After receiving a decision from planning, the property owner requested a variance for the structures. On August 26, 2025, a notice of hearing was sent certified mail and posted at the South Walton Courthouse. On August 28, 2025, the notice of hearing was also posted at the property. As of today, the property is not in compliance with the violation cited. Photos in your packet show the initial inspection and the pre-hearing conditions, with the violation still existing. I would like to submit my packet into evidence.
All right, I'll accept the packet into evidence as County's Exhibit A. All right. Mr. Florence, do you have any questions for Officer Baza? All right. If you want to go ahead and step up, I'll take any testimony or evidence you may have.
Yeah, we, Stephen Tatum is representing me for the variance application. Unfortunately, he had a scheduling conflict this morning and was unable to make this. But to my understanding, Bob Baranti has requested that this hearing be postponed until we make it through the planning process. We have submitted the paperwork for the pre-application appointment, and it's just been delayed due to other items or how busy the planning department is. So we're just requesting that this be postponed until after we make this through the planning department, if that's at all possible.
Okay, so do you know the status of, I guess, you said you're seeking a variance, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have you been put on the agenda yet for the Zoning Board of Adjustment?
So we are, we've been rescheduled several times throughout the summer. And I do not know if we have an exact date for our variance meeting, but we have submitted all the paperwork. Bob Baranti has approved the pre-application paperwork, and so now we're just waiting to get that final date set.
Yeah, I have an email Officer Baza has in his case notes. I guess he received an email from your attorney, Mr. Tatum, regarding, which this looks like it was
last week.
Yeah, about a week or so ago, where he mentions he's got a conflict for today, but you were in the process of trying to get your information together for a variance request. But as we sit here today, you don't have a hearing date scheduled for a variance or anything like that, correct?
No, sir, and we've been, I submitted the survey, a wetland delineation, to the best of my knowledge, in late June or July. So I've just been kind of waiting in the planning department process, to try to get that variance.
Officer Baza, what's the county's position on, essentially, it sounds like Mr. Florence is asking for a continuance. I don't know that I'm inclined to give a continuance, but what's the county's position?
Magistrate Michael Lynch,
Or
Walton
Mr.
County
Lynch,
Code Compliance
yeah.
Manager. It's the county's position that any sort of continuance doesn't further the county's interests. Regardless of the outcome of a variance, it has no bearing on today's hearing. The fact that they are applying for a variance is prima facie that there is a violation on the property, and that's all we're trying to establish today. We understand that any time that's recommended is going to go towards them being able to seek the variance, but we want a finite time. As you know, variances can go from weeks to months to years. So instead of prolonging this, all we're asking is that we find the property in violation. We also, will stipulate that if a variance is granted, there is a mechanism where they can come back and ask for a fine reduction if it goes beyond the time allotted. But that's the county's position.
Well, if they got the variance, the variance, if it's not granted, to your point, there will be no building permit issued. If the variance is granted, that's about the only way they can get the building permit issued. So, I can understand the county's position on wanting to bring some finality to this one way or the other. And I'm familiar with that board, and, the thing can take some time to get on there and get resolved. So what's the county's request as it relates to this?
Yeah, the recommendation is 90 days to come into compliance, or a $150 per day fine to accrue, and then the $73 administrative fee.
All right. Mr. Florence, you've heard what the county's requesting, bring the property into compliance within 90 days. Do you have any feeling as to whether or not you'll be in front of the Zoning Board of Adjustment within the 90 days?
To be honest, no. I've been stuck in, for lack of a better word, in limbo in the planning, the planning department's process. So I feel like that's a dependency out of my control. And so I'll do everything I can to get it in within 90 days, but we would hope that you would honor our request that we postpone this until we get through the planning process. But if not, we would request 120 days.
Yeah, I understand. I believe I'm limited to 90 days, though, is the max I'm allowed to provide. And the other concern I have, which I can assume is the county's position, is this has been, I guess the first activity on this was back in January of this year, and we're now in September. So I do think, I will provide the max, which is 90. But yeah, I do believe that, 12 months essentially, there should be some finality to this. So, but I will take into account, I know your attorney's trying to get you in a position where you can present before the ZBA. All right. Thank you both. Is there anything else from either one of you?
So what happens if I do not have my date before the 90 days is up? Do I need to just touch base with Uriel, or do I need to?
Yeah, once you have an answer to your if you get a variance or not.
Or just like my date's set after the 90 days,
So your date would be set to the 90 days, and then after that, it'll start accruing fines until you either come into compliance or you get that variance. once you have one of those established, you get with me, and then we'll find your property in compliance, and then you can ask for a fine reduction after that to try to reduce those fines. As you've seen earlier, there was some fine reduction hearings today, and you can request one of those.
Okay, because my concern is I get on the docket and it's past my 90-day allotment.
Right, yeah,
Um,
and that's gonna be a concern, but we can't hold this open indefinitely till you get on the docket. So, as Officer Baza indicated, based on the amount of time, if you go past the 90 days, then you know you're on the clock, and you need to get your property brought into compliance one way or the other. If it's not brought into compliance, those fines will continue to accumulate. If you bring the property into compliance, your attorney can advise you, but you can get in touch with Officer Baza, show him, hey, we got our variance, here's a copy of the order, here's the minutes, he can look at that, confirm it, take you off the clock. But then we still have to address the fines that have accumulated. And then there's a mechanism and procedure for that, and that's where you request a fine reduction, and then we'll take into account what you've been doing. Hey, we've been diligently pushing, trying to get our hearing date. There was a storm. Our hearing date got canceled, so it pushed us further back. We'll take all those things into account and then deal with it at that point. But yeah, this does put you on the clock. So as I said, I'm inclined to give you the maximum I'm allowed to, which is 90 days. That gives you 3 months. I mean, if you're already in the process with your attorney to get your packet, so to speak, put together for the Zoning Board of Adjustment, then they can put that on, in the next coming month.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
All right, thank you both.
All right, thank you.
I'll close the evidence portion of this hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of the law. Find that the property located at 264 Marlberry Trace, Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and is therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the testimony and evidence, I do find sufficient evidence to support that there is a violation at the property, specifically 1.13.09C building permit. Based on the county's recommendation and the request of the owner, Mr. Florence, I will provide 90 days to bring the property into compliance. So the property need to be brought into compliance on or before December 9th. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before that date, a $150 per day fine will be imposed. There is also, separate and apart, a $73 administrative fee. That'll need to be paid regardless of whether the property is brought into compliance, and you'll have 30 days to pay that. And as we discussed, Mr. Florence, just continue to work with your attorney. Go ahead and apply for your variance request, as it appears that you're going to do. And you can even provide a copy of the order, or you can, email Mr. Tatum the ruling, so he knows, hey, here's our deadline. But I know Mr. Tatum, and he'll be able to advise you properly on how to proceed forward. All right. Do you have any questions regarding the order?
Is the 73 due in a week?
No, it's due in 30 days. So
right.
But don't try to pay it probably till next week, because it won't be in the system yet.
Okay.
So, and you just pay that at the clerk's office.
And if I'm not in compliance, it's $150 a day by 12/9.
Yeah, after 12/9, it'll start $150 per day.
Ready.
And you'll get a copy of the order. It'll get sent to you as well, so you'll have that.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you
Yes,
for your
sir.
time.
All right. Thank you for showing up. You're dismissed. All right. Our last case is Tommy L. Vinson Jr. I don't see anybody else in here. Officer Baza, this is your case as well. That's case number 250122.
Sir. Again, Officer Uriel Baza with Walton County Code of Compliance. For the record, I am submitting my final summary case report and testimony regarding case number CE-25-01222. This property is located at 1283 North County Highway 393 Santa Rosa Beach, Florida 32459. Parcel number is 22-2S-20-33120-099-00010. Property owner is listed as Tommy L. Vincent Jr. This property is in the unincorporated area of Walton County and is subject to the Land Development Code, Chapter 7 in the county ordinances. The violations cited are 5.07.09B, maintenance private property, 7.2.01A, junk and litter, and 7.02.02 overgrowth. We received a complaint on February 27th, 2025 for hoarding and blight, overgrowth, vermin, and multiple raccoons present on property. Rusted, inoperative, expired tag watercraft vessel has been sitting for over 5 years. Tarp blows off weekly. Property has visible roof damage, water intrusion, and hoarding all along porch and barn. This abandoned property is causing a decline in neighboring properties. Potential neighboring homebuyers are extremely vocal about the blight and not purchasing due to the longevity of this property being unkept and not maintained. I conducted my inspection on March 6, 2025. At the inspection, found the property and observed the complainant's concerns of the blight. A notice of violation was sent certified mail on March 12, 2025 and posted on the 13th. On March 26, 2025, I spoke to the property owner who informed me that he was actively going to work on taking care of the overgrowth and getting someone to fix the roof. He also stated that he would get the boats registered and properly stored. Follow-up inspections showed that the property owner at first had the yard cleaned and attempted to shield the watercraft vessels. After allowing time for the property owner to come into compliance, the property appears to have lost interest and has regressed to its initial appearance. On August 25th, 2025, a notice of hearing was sent certified mail, posted at the property, and posted at the South Walton Courthouse. As of today, the property is not in compliance with the violations cited. Photos in your packet show the initial inspection, the pre-hearing conditions, with the violations still existing. I would like to submit my packet into evidence.
That'll be accepted as county's Exhibit A into evidence. What's the county's requesting on this?
It's going to be 33 days, so up to October 13, 2025, to properly store and remove junk and watercraft vessels, properly upkeep lawn maintenance, and to obtain roof permit, repair roof. If not, it's $150 per day fine to accrue.
And administrative fees?
And the $73.
All right, thank you, sir. I'll close the evidence portion of this hearing. I'll make the following findings of fact and conclusions of law. I'll find that the property located 1283 North County Highway 393 in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida is in the unincorporated area of Walton County, Florida, and therefore subject to the Walton County Land Development Code. Based on the testimony and evidence presented today, I will find that there is sufficient evidence to show that there is a violation at the property, specifically 5.07.09B, maintenance of requirements, 7.02.01A, junk and litter, and 7.02.02 overgrowth. Based on the county's request, I will provide that the property must be brought into compliance on or before October 13th, 2025. In the event the property is not brought into compliance on or before October 13th, a $150 per day fine will be imposed. In addition, to the fine, there is also a $73 administrative fee that will need to be paid. That will need to be paid within 30 days of the date of this order. Did I miss anything, Officer Baza?
No, sir, that's it.
All right. I've signed that order, and that'll conclude that case. And that's the end of our current cases. The other orders that are subject for review and signing, I can do that offline. So with that being said, we are adjourned.